it's Beauty Junkie. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm getting into a bronze summer makeup look. I'm focusing on a bronze complexion today. I'm not actually going to touch much of the eye area. I'm just going to focus on everything else. I'm doing a lot of summer related makeup videos these days. I'm trying to enjoy the season and get into makeup looks that I normally wouldn't wear the rest of the year or can't get away with wearing the rest of the year. And the main thing that comes to mind is bronzed skin. I'm pretty pale normally, so bringing out the bronzer, faking that sun-kissed look is most appropriate this time of year, of course. Doesn't work as well in midwinter if you're nice and glowy and shimmery bronze. It looks a little bit fake. So I'm going to fake it in the right time of year with some makeup products from my collection. I pulled out some things like powder and liquid bronzers, highlighters that I think go well with bronzers, and blushes that go well with a bronzed look. There's some blushes that I think don't work as well with bronzed looks, so I'm picked out some that I think do go well. So let's get into it. I do need to start with a complexion product. I do have a pimple, yes, in between my eyes here that I tried to pop and it didn't really work, and now it looks worse and it hurts, and I think it's from wearing sunglasses. So we're going to cover that up, hopefully, with a newish foundation. I'm gonna try this out again, the Chanel Le Beige's Water Fresh Complexion Touch. This is the concealer product that came out that a lot of people have been reviewing. I have a review of this up already, but we're gonna try it again. I'm going to try it again because why not? I'm sure you guys want to see some foundations more than once, especially if you're like really on the fence about buying them. I have the shade B12 in this guy. I think it's a fairly good match, and I think depending on the day, I think this one looks good. But I do feel like it does not last, and it does come off really easily if you touch your face or anything touches your face. So I'm going to put this on with a little Chanel brush here. This came with the regular Water Fresh. This is the larger one. And just kind of drag it across the skin. Just glide it. Okay, so I still have that redness in between my forehead. I'm gonna use concealer. I'm not gonna use any more of this. I do think it gives a really fresh, light layer of coverage. I think it looks nice, but as I mentioned, the wear time on it gives me patchy, cakey look, even with powder. Okay, so I'm using the Dior Forever Skin Correct in 1CR. I'm gonna go all over because, oh boy, do I need this right now. All right, complexion is on, concealer, foundation. Let's get into cream bronzer. I really like cream bronzer because I feel like it just overall looks natural, sinks into the skin a little easier. For powder bronzer, well, cream and powder though, you gotta get the right shade. You don't wanna be orange, you don't wanna be gray or more of a contour shade. It's really challenging. That's the hardest part about bronzers, getting a natural looking color for your skin. So me being very pale, I don't know, sometimes the shades meant for fair skin don't work. It's odd. But let's talk about some cream liquidy kinds of bronzer products. I'm gonna do some swatches here. I would say some of these are pretty common, some are not. So the first one here is the Chanel Le Beige's, this guy. Here, this is the Soleil Tan Bronze Universal Healthy Glow Bronzing Cream. This is the lightest shade. This is the newer formulation, and I do not like the texture of this. I think it's odd, and I think the color is odd. So this is the swatch of this one. I don't know, I feel like it doesn't really last and look good on my skin. That's that one. This is a Tom Ford duo here. This is a cream highlight and cream contour. I think it's a color that I could use for bronzer though. This is the Shade and Illuminate Intensity 0.5. Guy here, they have different shades of this, so I'm gonna use this sweaty looking cream contour. I think this works better as a bronzer shade. I think you could contour with it, but it is also like a pretty natural bronzy moment. I prefer this color over this one. Next up, I have probably my favorite, the Fenty Body Sauce in Pearl Swirl. This is a body shimmer product that people use on their face, and it's not meant for the face, so you may have some issues with it. But I tend to really enjoy it. Now, a little bit goes a long way, so that is even too much for the areas on the face. But I just love the color, the texture. It's not really shimmery at all, like most kind of body products. It's almost like a body makeup. Like I really want to look tan, I put this on my body and it makes me look like a different color. So I really like this one too. Last one I have here is from Junkay. This is the Radiance Gel Bronzer, and unfortunately there's only one shade of this, I believe. And I think this is an odd color. It's like, not odd, just odd for me. Maybe a little bit too red toned. Or orangey red. You guys see that there? So I'm fine with the texture of it. I just think it's not the right color for me. So those are the cream bronzers here we have to work with. I often like layering cream and powder products, so I'm gonna use a cream first and then we'll do some powder bronzer on top. So I'm gonna go in with the Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate. I've done plenty of videos with the Fenty, but I'm gonna go with this one, which is probably my second favorite cream bronzer kind of product because the color is pretty good. But this technically is a contour palette. I'm gonna take my finger here and just kind of dab on in certain areas of the face where the sun would hit. And then for me, bronzer is pretty important, or some kind of contour color or something, even blush on my forehead. Because it's large, I need to balance it out with whatever I'm putting here, I have to put here. So we're putting bronzer there. Also on the chin, I think it's important to put a little color so we don't look flat one monochrome shade, because our natural face isn't one color. All right, so that's it. I don't think you need a lot of product when you use liquid bronzers or blushes. Generally requires very little. I'm gonna take a hybrid natural and synthetic brush. So this is the Sonia G Classic Base, and work this in very gently, like a stipple kind of a motion, because that foundation is very it transfers easily. I don't want to go in too much and remove the coverage. So just kind of stamping it in. So now that I have all the liquid stuff on, I'm going to put on some setting products because it's summer. I need to do some powder. I generally use powder on my face all year long after I use liquid products, just because it helps keep the makeup somewhat intact. Okay, on to the powder bronzer part. I have quite a few, well, not quite a few. I have some. I haven't been buying too many new ones, although it does seem to be like the year of the cream bronzer and powder bronzer, mostly creams it seems like this year. I haven't been really buying too many because I have so many from last year that I'm still using. This is a Wayne Goss. This isn't like, It says bronze and sculpt, so technically this is the bronzer and this is the sculpt, but I like to use both, and this is one of my favorite bronzers because the shades are so natural looking and you can mix, and has like a subtle sheen to it. This is light gold, so I really like that as an option. I'm not going to show you every bronzing powder that I have, but I'm just showing you guys a couple. This one I have hit pan on a long time ago, actually. The Junkay Real Bronze in Goa. This is like for dark skin tones. I use a little bit of it and I love the tone of this. I'll go ahead and start swatching for you guys. This is a Beautay product. This is pretty old, so it doesn't quite feel as smooth anymore. But that's a pretty color. I don't know why there's glitter. There's no glitter in this, slight sheen. Here is the Wayne Goss bronzer shade, light gold. That definitely has more of a sheen, you guys can see that. And here is the contour shade in light taupe. Not really a bronzer, but you can see why I mix these to kind of tone down the sheen a little bit and the oranginess. I think this combo is nice together. So now I just gotta choose. I think I'm gonna go with this one and we'll go from there and see if we need to dip into this guy. My favorite bronzer brush that I don't think is in stock very often, this is the Sonia G and No Shake Pro. It's pointy and it's soft, and I don't know, I've always really liked it for some reason. So mix those two shades. So bronzer is one of those things that you really can overdo real fast. So really gentle, soft touches, going in slow is good. If you need to touch up later, maybe your skin absorbed the powder, or it faded, or you touched your face and like the bronze is gone, you can always add more later on in the day. But in the past I used to go really heavy-handed into Goa and I would look like I was tan in the middle of winter because I always use bronzer all year long. Kind of like a sculptor, I like to use it, especially with my large forehead. I like to like put a ton right here. Ooh. I think for this video, because it's all about the bronze, I'm gonna go a little extra than I normally would because I probably would stop here. I do feel like I have a lot of color added right now from where I started. I want to make sure you take it down the neck onto the chest a little bit, especially if you're changing colors like I am. You guys can see how wide I am down here. Okay, so I'm gonna stop with this one and move on to this one, but even lighter, okay? So you're my skin tone and you want to use Goa, you can. Just really sweep it on lightly. Okay. Ugh. Such a pretty product. It's lasted me a long time. I know Junkay is really expensive, but they do sales. They do sales at other retailers. So it's possible to get these products for at least 20% off or more. It's just pretty. So now we have a lot of bronze on, a lot of layers of bronze on. I'm gonna stop there and move on to blush. And when I think about what's a good blush to go with a very bronze complexion, I tend to think about going within the same family and not doing like I think a bright pink blush can be pretty with bronze, but I don't want to go too cool toned pink or too mauvey or anything like that. A peach also looks really good with a bronze. Sometimes peach looks very orangey and not so flattering. It just looks very unnatural on me. So sometimes I go with more of a brownie pink. I know we're getting into very nuanced tones here, but here's what I'm thinking. I pulled out 3 blushes. I know one that goes perfectly with a bronze look because it's basically a bronze blush. This is the Pat McGrath Skin Fetish Divine Blush in Desert Orchid, my favorite shade of all the blushes. It's very shimmery though, so if you have a lot of bronze shimmer going on, you put this on top. It's gonna take you to the next shimmery level, which you may not want. You could use this instead of a bronzer, especially if you're already tan, but this is such a beautiful shade. It's got a lot of peach to it. It's magical. I'll go ahead and do a swatch for you guys just to get a sense of what we're working with. It's kind of an orangey shade, which I talked about not wanting, but oh, this is something else. This is not typical orange peachiness. This is like something prettier. Love that one. This is one of the new blush duos from Pat McGrath. This is Paradise Glow. This one is more of a terracotta vibe. It's not shimmery. It actually runs a little bit more red, which I honestly think could work with this look. I know it looks very scary as a blush tone on the back of my hand, but it's not this intense. But that you know, that could work. I don't know if I'm going to use that today. And here is the brownie pink one that I was talking about. So this is actually the Patrick Ta blush duo. So there's a cream and a powder. This is She's Blushing. This is the Double Take cream and powder blush. And I think this would go well too, just because it's very natural. It's not going to give you bright punchy cheeks. I think this would work well. So right now let me do some swatches of these. So here's the powder. See, we're kind of looking in the same family as that Pat McGrath one, but this one is more shimmery, so it's a bit smoother of an application. And here's the cream part. Again, we're almost in like lipstick territory here. There's that blended out. So I think you kind of get a lot of these are within the same like brownish, pinky, reddish tones. So that's what I think of when I think of like a monochrome, bronzy look. These are the kind of blushes I think go best. You know, I'm thinking Patrick Ta. Yeah, ooh, She's Blushing. Maybe I'll use a little bit of that. We'll see how I feel. Okay, so there is a cream and a powder in here. What you're supposed to do is use the powder first. So that's what I'm gonna do. I might stop after the powder. So going to stamp this on. These are pigmented little guys here. So you just need like a little burst of concentration. Ooh, yeah, I like that. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Now I gotta blend that out. Ooh, that's pretty. I love coming up with new combinations. It's like a new outfit that you put together from your existing wardrobe that you're like, oh, I'm surprised that works. I'm not surprised, but I don't think I've ever combined all these products together before. But just a little bit of that blush really worked. So I'm not going to use the cream just because I'm not like a huge fan of putting cream on top of powder. I have to be in the mood. I'm not in the mood. So I'm going to go back in. I'm going to go into a little bit Desert Orchid and top this off. We're just going super extra with this video. I want to look like I've been on a tropical beach vacation. So that's a lot. I'm gonna blend out with a brush with nothing on it. So my blush brush was the Gruffer number 4. I'm using a lot of brushes here, I know. This is my Sonia G Face one that I always use to blend out all kinds of products on my face. It's like the perfect blender. And that's it. That's it for the bronzing complexion. Ooh, that was fun. It's been a while since I filmed, so putting on makeup with you guys is always a treat, when especially after a long period of not having much of a break to film. Whew. All right, so I'm gonna put a little bit of something bronzy on my lips. I'm gonna skip the eyes today because I'm gonna be filming an eye look video after this. So here is the Trixie Mattel lip gloss new thing, and this is a peachy shimmery moment. Look at this. I love this applicator. Now this gloss is shiny. It's kind of metallic-y. It's not gonna be for everyone. I think of it as a really pretty topper over a nude lipstick that I'm not wearing. I'm just gonna wear this on its own, but look at that. It's got a little bit of a vanilla taste scent. Here is my bronze look. I am ready for summer. When my complexion hits well like this, I actually don't feel like I need to put as much effort into the eyes, although the eyes are my favorite. I do like a nice bronze sculpted cheek, some dimension. My forehead looks a little smaller, at least in my opinion. I'm digging this bronze look. Let me know what products you guys are reaching for bronzer this summer. Let me know your favorites, what's the new things that are out. Let me know what you guys have picked up in the comments below. If you like this video, click the thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye guys.